Yeah, here.
Chicka, chicka. Yeah.
Kill Bill and Rev. We don't suck.
Slap my ass and call me the slapped ass.
Slapped ass and Rav back in this bitch. What's going on, everybody? Episode 89 of the We Don't Suck podcast. Bill, how you doing?
Slapped ass and Rav's back at the NASDAQ. Throw that ass back. Pap, pap. I rap whack. Tat, tat.
Please.
That's what I called my great grandmother.
Please stop.
Listen, big bars, can't hold them in the vault. Come through the spot with that caulk.
What?
You know, like a caulk gun?
That was terrible.
What's terrible about it?
That whole line, that was terrible.
What's bad about it, dude?
I was expecting
to
more
me
than
in words.
I was expecting more than one syllable, and then I was also not expecting vault and caulk. Especially the way you pronounced it was just like, I'm intentionally gonna make it try to not rhyme.
Nah, dude. Okay, so let me talk to you about some stuff real quick. Sometimes you have to be subversive. You might think that I would rhyme vault with Walt.
Right.
You know? But that wouldn't make sense. You can't say come through with that Walt. You know?
Yeah. Well, maybe you should have said something
Come
else.
through with that waltz. What we gotta do? A fucking 3, 4, 6, 8 little dance? What are we doing?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, you could have done other things like, I don't know. Let's see what's coming out of Rav's vault. You gonna leave Bill's face bloody in the asphalt. That's his asphalt.
No.
Because I said some of that salt.
Stop. Because I said I come through with that. I can't say asphalt. That'd be dumb.
No, I mean, I'm just saying there's other ways you could have taken that.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
You stopped me because you're embarrassed.
I'm not embarrassed. I'm embarrassed at you right now for not understanding the bar, dude. Like, you know, like a caulk gun? Like, I gotta go.
You said can't hold them in the vault. I come through with that caulk.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
That's what you said.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
I was expecting to hold them in the vault. You know, the whole thing rhyming.
Yeah, that's what you're expecting, but that's not what you got. Because I'm going to be subversive. I'm not going to just bow to your fucking expectations. Who are you, fucking making hip hop? Reddit/r/making hip hop?
And I'm all, you know, and slant rhymes and half rhymes are rhymes, you know, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you could have still gone like, I don't know, can't hold them in the vault. I bring that juice, got you swallowing the pulp.
Okay,
like,
hold them
there's
in.
just so many directions.
Hold them in and swallowing doesn't rhyme at all.
Hold them in the vault, swallowing. It depends on how you pronounce it.
Swallowing?
Swallowing.
Did you know you can rhyme ocean and mountain if you say it right?
Welcome back to the We Don't Suck podcast. It's your boys, Bill and Rav. Bill is in the type of mood where he just wants to grind my gears.
Challenge you. I just want to challenge you.
Me, Bill. You know what? This is the episode where Bill challenges a Rav. Let's see. Just go. You know what? You take the lead.
Okay. What's do you have any hot takes on anything? So I can debate you?
I have a hot take. It's the 19th anniversary of 9/11. And, you know, and that's like crazy that it's been 19 years since.
Yeah, dude. What were you doing on 9/11?
I was playing like probably on my Game Boy or something. And then I see it on TV. Like, and I saw on television when the second plane hit live on TV. I remember that.
Damn, dude.
And I remember just being like, it felt like the world was ending.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, I legitimately thought, because I was in fifth grade. Yeah, and I was in school, and it had just started, and we had just got like TVs in the room, like a constant
You were in
TV.
5th grade?
Not one that you. Yeah.
I thought you dropped out fourth grade. No, I mean, I'm surprised you were in fifth grade in 2001. Yeah, I thought you were like one.
I was born in October, and so they were like, "Oh, you could either like send." Because like if you're born in October, you could either be sent. Like,
oh right, yeah, but you were like one grade above me.
To be the youngest, or
if I recall correctly, you were like 1 year ahead of me. So I was just thinking like, you would have been in sixth or seventh grade, in 2001. No,
I was in fifth.
Because that would have been September 2001. So that's 2002 is really most of that year, and you would have been 12 years old. So you were in fifth grade at 12.
I was 11. I was born in October 8th.
Right. You were 11. You were just about to be 12. But what I'm saying that year you would have been 12. That year of school, you would have been 12.
Yes.
So you were in fifth grade at 12.
Yes.
I was in eighth grade when I was 12. So that's why I'm confused.
The boys go on a tangent about what age you're supposed to be in what grade for about half an hour. It is riveting. Fascinating. The most thrilling content you could ever ask for in a podcast. Life is meaningless.
Did you do pre-K at all?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I did pre-K.
Pre-K was tight. All I remember from pre-K is eating toothpaste.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, mine wasn't at like an actual school though. It was at this church. And it was basically, I mean, they did like educational stuff all the time, and I feel like I learned a lot. I think it is kind of important to have your kid like learn it at a young age like that, but like it was basically a fucking daycare.
It was a daycare, absolutely a daycare for me. Yeah, like a pre-K. What I remember is everybody had to bring their own toothbrush and toothpaste because you would nap in the afternoon, right? And I had just like such a lame toothpaste, just like normal, I don't know, Oral-B or whatever you want to call it. Toothpaste. But then all these kids had like strawberry flavored toothpaste and this flavored toothpaste.
Oh yeah, that shit sucks though.
And yeah, it does, absolutely does. But in retrospect, but back then I was like, yo, and they're like, yeah, it tastes so good. And then we would sit there and eat each other's toothpaste. And then
that's so
the other thing I remember.
Everyone gets to yours.
Another thing I remember, and the other thing I remember, and it's like, it's like the equivalent of drugs for kids. What we would do is we would T-pose and spin until we'd fall over and just be so dizzy, you know, and like, whoa, and we enjoyed that dizziness. And then we'd eat toothpaste and spin.
Whoa,
and some of us would,
I'm tripping.
And some of us would throw up because we fucking just ingested a ton of toothpaste and fucking spun around like Beyblades.
Y'all got that fluoride stare.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
It was it was another time, man, a different time. How was it for you?
I mean, honestly, like I was in there with my cousin, and he was the only dude I knew, and it was like 10 people in the class or whatever, and so it was like me and my cousin were always just hanging out, playing like Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that was the shit.
Like he had like, we didn't bring like toothbrushes. Like we would take naps, but I think we like, it ended pretty early. Like it started at like 8 a.m. and ended at noon.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, I remember fucking, we would just play all the time. He had the coolest Ninja Turtle action figure. It was like the robot Ninja Turtle. I think it was a bad guy, but its eyes looked like it was glowing red when it wasn't. It's just like the light would pass through the back of the head, and that shit was tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much all I remember is that action figure. I was pretty young.
That's cool though. And you remember that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was everything. Like I remember for me that around that time, that was everything. Early 90s, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is still king.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was great. Also, like I had this VHS that we would watch there that was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, and it was the episode where they go to the arcade and the arcade machine basically gets, I think it's Donnie, gets him hooked on the arcade machine, but it turns out it's like a demon in there, and they have to fight it. And I thought that shit was so cool. I loved anything video game related.
Oh yeah, that was always my favorite. Or D&D related, even though I never actually did D&D. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. Have you?
I played Pathfinder one time when I was high as shit, but I didn't like it.
I see. Everybody's always told us we should do like a D&D campaign. Obviously, we'd invite some friends. I feel like we should get some. Maybe we could ask Ross to be the DM. You know, because
yeah, he'd be good at that.
Yeah, because he has experience of of like playing D&D, because people think that we play D&D or that I have experience of being a DM because I'm good at pulling shit out of my ass on the spot sometimes.
Yeah.
But not at all. I feel I would love to do that though. I'd love to have, you know what, actually outside of the recording, I'd love to, me, your girl, my girl, and you, and maybe one other friend, we could have a D&D campaign, because my girl would be super down. She was like, oh man, I'd love to do a campaign with you and Bill, because she never played D&D either as a kid. She'd be super down.
Yeah, that would be really fun. That'd be like, it could get real silly. I like things that, like, I feel like if I play D&D, it would have to be pretty silly.
Yeah, same like, here. I feel like it would have to be pretty silly.
Man, I remember that when I tried to play Pathfinder, I probably would have loved it, but I was just playing with this whack ass dude. It was like one of my roommate's friends. Mm-hmm. And like, for whatever reason, like I had just watched that episode of Eric Andre, where it's like him talking about like L. Ron Hubbard was black and his name was L. Ron Hoyabimbe.
Yeah.
And he heard me saying, like, I was quoting and I was like, Hoya Bimbe in the other room, right? Mm-hmm. And then he just started calling me Hoya Bimbe. And I was just like, don't call me Hoya Bimbe, dude. Like, I just said it one time quoting the video. And he just kept calling me that. And I was high as shit. Like, he got me super stoned and, like, was trying to tell me all the little rules. Because there's rules. It's not just like, oh, so I go down there and I roll a dice. Like, there's, like, a little more to it, you know? And, yeah, dude. But he named my character. I was trying to name my character, and he was just like, "Oh, we'll call you Bimbe." And I was like, "I fucking hate you."
Yeah.
Just let me name my fucking character. He's like, "Your name's Bimbe, and you're an elf." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So that's like all the things that are joyous about this making a character are now sucked out of this because my name's Bimbe. I'm an elf. I don't want to be a fucking elf. I want to be an orc. I want to be something big and strong, not something wibbly dibbly.
Yeah,
you know?
I think
that's what I said.
I think the Raventhor Philanthropist like adventure that we had was a great example of you and me getting to do that, is coming up with things right there on the spot and just coming up with everything on the spot. That's why I really like the Star Wars one, because I like the energy of you actually trying to keep things chaotic on track and just like have a direction, and
as well.
and me trying to just dismantle that and throw a wrench into your plans.
Yeah, you like when you killed the main character like,
immediately
right after I just introduced him and went into his backstory, and then you're just like, and then he's dead. Like,
that was the funniest shit to me, because to me it's like he didn't expect that, you know, like because
and I'm sitting there trying to floundering, trying to give our characters motivation to kill Darth Vader. And he's just like, I think you knew a guy that whose daddy killed.
But that's way funnier, you know. The characters now losing their purpose in that universe. Of you know, being
they never had purpose at all, not at all.
Their purpose was supposed to communicate your goal to you, but now that you're not that character anymore, you're someone else. Now everything is like, well, what do they do? You know, and that's funnier to me. That's way funnier to me than staying on some sort of like rail tracks, you know, and knowing exactly where you're gonna get. I like sometimes just being like, oh, let's take it off the rails. How are you gonna make do? How are you going to navigate your way through like a perilous path, you know? And that's always been the funny thing to me about our what ifs and our role play adventures. That's my favorite. I also like see like, oh, how can I make him laugh, or like how can I, even more so than just make you laugh, think like, what would he not expect right now to happen? I want it to be a roller coaster for you, you know, when I'm
dude, and I appreciate that. I think that D&D would be a very chaotic thing, but I'd be down to do it. The one thing that I didn't The one thing that I did understand, but was struggling to because I was high as hell, was like, it's basically playing a video game with the stats, but you have to kind of like keep up with them to an extent. you know? And so like that was like a thing I wasn't quite used to. Like for some reason I thought it was just going to be role playing all the way. Like there was like going to be like structureless role playing, but I didn't build my character's stat sheet or whatever. It was just given to me.
Yeah, see, that's the whack part, because that's the best part, I would assume, right? There's the stat sheet, like you coming up with your weapons and background. And
yeah, see, like I don't know a lot of that stuff. Like, do you have to do stuff that already exists in that universe, or can you just like make up some shit? Like, oh, I have the fucking.
I think it depends on the campaign, right? But I'm pretty sure there are definitely D&D campaigns out there where people were just completely silly. You know, like my. You've
got the cum sword.
The cum sword, or like the fucking the diaper of doom and stuff like that, or like even my sword made of my dead father's eyelashes or whatever, or eyebrows. These things are absolutely, I think, within the realm of. It all depends on how fun the DM is prepared to be. I think, and also what is he referencing? What kind is he going by this book that's just like it. It's not flexible at all, or also I do think it all depends on the DM though, because even if you have like a strict scenario in front of you, if the DM is imaginative and fun and ready to sort of concede to your wild imagination and somehow interpret that within the universe that he's trying to build, or they're trying to build rather, then I think it's totally possible to introduce silly elements. So because if you and I did D&D, we definitely do silly shit. Just knowing us, I do not foresee us creating super serious characters. It's just because that's not who, like, that wouldn't be as fun for us. For us, it'd be like having maybe non-serious characters in a serious world. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But having serious characters in a serious world, that's fun, but not. I'm looking for funny and stuff and shit like that. You know?
I want to have like funny with like tinges of badass. Like moments of like, oh, that's kind of cool that happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. No, and I want it to be exciting, and I want it to be an adventure. Also, I don't want to be the guy who's like, I'm so funny and I have a shit covered diaper. Meanwhile, everyone else in the campaign are like super serious, and they've made like there are these elves with tragic stories. Because then I feel like I'm ruining their experience by they're like,
no,
oh yes,
that's not true though.
You don't think so? Like it was just like, oh, I got the ring of Rabathon, and it's the ring passed down through generations of these wizards of blood. My mother died and this and that, and like, oh, and then they're going through these adventures and they need to find this sword that can slay the dragon that's taken their village hostage. Meanwhile, I'm here like, I can shit my pants and it makes all my enemies run away from the stench if the dice lands at 6 or above or whatever, or above.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like the only caveat of that, the only true, I mean, I don't think it would actually ruin their experience, but you would just basically be like the snarf of that universe. Like you would be the comic relief.
But what if they want to lead like a very Tolkien-esque adventure, and some campaigns can last years. Right, so it's like
I mean, yeah, of
they're
course,
in it for the long haul, and they're like they really think their characters through and just well designed. And meanwhile, I'm like, okay, if I roll a 3, I shit myself, and the enemy runs away. Like it's just there's something about it where it's just like, yeah, you can have comic relief, but you can also have, I think, stylistically things clash. Not all comedy works in all situations, right? And I like for things to be funny for me and enjoyable for me, but not at the expense of another person's enjoyment. I mean, in terms of participants. If you and I are playing something and our viewers are like, yo, this is not fun for me, or like, why did you do this? Then it's like, I don't give a shit, because we're experiencing it. We're having fun.
Fuck those guys. Hey, if you're listening to this shit, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Go listen to the I don't know, some other podcast.
Go listen to Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah, Joe Rogan will listen and hear you out.
Yeah.
On your needs.
Yeah, Joe Rogan's new. Have you seen his new podcast recording location?
No,
it's different. He's finally moved to Texas, and it's like this bunker with like red fluorescent lights, and it's pretty bad.
Oh hell yeah!
It's
dude.
I say fluorescent. I wouldn't say fluorescent, but it's bad.
I love this other set.
His other set was great. Now it's distracting, and there's like a light in between certain parts of the set, right behind the people who he's talking to, right behind their heads. So it kind of like distracts from their faces. And like, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're listening to the podcast, you're probably listening to it rather than visually enjoying it. I just quickly, I wasn't interested in either one of the two new interviews personally, but I just wanted to quickly look at his new set because I noticed in the thumbnails like, oh, this looks like a different set.
Yeah.
And I think there's potential to it. I think there's like a coziness to having a bunker, but it just, at the moment, it's too distracting. There's too many elements that are distracting and don't look cool to me. But anyway, that's besides the point. I wanted to not deviate too much from what ifs because I was going to ask you a what if. It's been a long time since we've done this.
Yeah. Hold on, I want to look at this new set really quick.
Oh yeah, go for it.
It's like red. Oh yeah, it looks kind of weird.
Yeah, dude, it's really weird because look behind, like whenever they focus, the camera switches to the other person. And like look at their head and the light
I'm
right
just
next to
looking
their
at a still
heads.
image right now.
Okay, yeah.
Hold on. There's a whole bunch of people. There's actually like a video. The first thing that comes on when you put in Joe Rogan new set and put in videos on Google, it says why you hate Joe Rogan's new podcast.
I mean, you could have
set.
just looked at his channel, the two latest interviews.
Yeah, I just put in Joe Rogan news. I'm looking at like the whole, like the set itself, just looking at it outside of people being in it in the shots, like it looks really cool. Like it's like some kind of weird starship
it's like,
thing.
what the fuck? Like, what are you, a child?
It's like a dojo. It looks like a dojo, like one of those like.
Does it? It looks like a bunker to me. That's why.
But yeah, it's weird. Well, you're gonna ask me a what if question. I'm sorry, I'm talking about Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I know you're in love with him romantically.
I want to fuck him, dude. Fuck him.
Cut that out. Remove that part. So
me fucking him or you coughing?
Whatever, either or, both.
Okay, cool.
Or clip them both at the same time. So Bill, if you could trade bodies with another person for one whole day, who would you do it with?
That's tough. It's tough. Definitely a girl.
And you can't pick Hitler again.
Yeah, not again. Or Bigfoot. I can't pick him either.
So yeah, no, a girl. Okay, yeah, that's.
I would pick a girl just because I'd want to see what it would be like to be a woman, like for a day. Like,
okay.
Like not necessarily like I'm not just like, oh, I'm gonna squeeze the boobies. Not like that. Like, like it just you see like I don't know. Like it's just like I have like the opposite body of a woman's, so it would be interesting to see what it would be like.
I wouldn't go as far as opposite bodies, but yes, sure.
Opposite. I mean, I'm a big hairy man. You know.
There's plenty of big hairy women.
I don't want to be a big hairy woman. I would be like kind of like a small, not hairy woman.
Oh, okay, I see. Because I thought you were just saying women are like the polar opposite of you, and I was like, I don't know, man. There's like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know who though. Who would be a cool person? Who would be? Would I have to like live their life too, or just the body switch?
It's just for one day, but but whoever you're swapping with, they're obviously taking your place too, and that's something you need to account for.
Well, would they consent
hours.
to this, or would they just be like thrown into my body without them knowing or any kind of knowledge or anything?
Yes, no consent. It's just like it kind of happens.
Okay.
It's like it's like, let's say you didn't know it was gonna happen for real. You're just like, oh, hypothetically, I think this would be fun, you know. But you kind of know there's a small chance that it will happen, so you want to account for if you do manifest the idea.
I have another question. I'm sorry, I keep asking questions.
No. You're supposed to ask questions. Go ahead.
Would I appear like in their location? Like when I wake up, let's say I pick Cameron Diaz. I'm not picking Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
But if I wake up, am I going to be in Cameron Diaz's room as Cameron Diaz, or am I going to be in my room?
Yes, you would be in Miss Diaz's room in her body, and she would be in your room in your body.
Okay. Wait. I got this, dude. I got this.
But she would also know immediately that it's only for 24 hours.
Right. Okay. Who is that one? God, I can't remember. Is the girl who works for Fox News that everyone hates?
I knew you were going to say that. Jesus. I don't know why I knew immediately.
Oh, I have a plan, though. But you know who I'm talking about? What's her name? Do you know?
Let's see.
White lady number 12?
Blonde.
Yeah. Hold on.
I was going to say blonde, but most of them are.
Fox News girl.
Tommy Lauren?
I don't know which one. Yes. Yes. I want to trade bodies with Tommy Lauren. And I want to like just get on Instagram Live and just start farting like real loud. Like, wow, I love farting.
Her audience would love that. Her audience would eat that up. No, but I mean, like, I worry that would just kind of like fetishize a thing that everybody wants to see.
It's like a whole subset of people who are just like obsessed with Tommy Lauren's farts.
I feel like you could do a lot more, but also, okay, let's play this out. I'm going to be Tommy Lauren in your body, and you're going to be Bill in Tommy Lauren's body.
Okay.
Okay, I wake up, I'm like, what the fuck? Where am I? What are these? What are those? What? And then in my head, immediately 24 hours, you're stuck in this body. You're like, fuck, then who's in my body? Okay, now it cuts to you. You know, the camera cuts to you.
I'm already awake. You know, like I woke up before because like my body would definitely sleep in.
Uh-huh.
You know, and she has my body, which means that she has my habits as a person. But me, okay. I'm awake. I'm already on the phone, like with several different people I don't really know, and just saying fucked up weird shit just to ruin Tommy Lauren.
Right. Do you do anything in a public forum? Like, do you do anything on Instagram?
Not yet. I mean, I call. We're gonna get there, you know.
Okay,
but I called President Trump because I'm sure that she's got his number.
Right.
You know?
Hi, this is Donald Trump.
She calls up Trump. Just say that you're gonna shit somewhere in his house, hidden.
Again.
And he's excited.
Right. It cuts.
Like,
it cuts to camera cuts back to Tommy Lauren. She's just she's like, what's going on? Like, I need to make do with this body in my environment for the next 24 hours. I'm gonna go check out what's in the kitchen, make myself some food, so at least I'm not thinking on a hungry stomach. Cuts back to you.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm simulcasting on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and Twitch, and also YouTube Live. I don't know if we call that, but yeah. And I'm currently in Tommy Lauren's body, and I've got a bowl of cold baked beans, like a whole can, and I'm just shoving my face in it and just eating these baked beans live on camera. Okay,
so it cuts to Tommy Lauren on the laptop as she's eating breakfast, seeing that you're doing this. She reaches, she goes back into your bedroom and finds your phone and goes on Twitter and types hashtag All Lives Matter.
Fuck.
See, this is something you didn't account for.
It's time for me to okay. I then find, am I aware of this?
I mean, it depends if you check your own social media or you're just really like you're completely disconnected from that. You're not even thinking about your Twitter account because you're just like out here like hell yeah.
I'm like, fuck it, dude. I'll just play damage control later. I'm just gonna continue eating these beans and farting.
All right. So while you're doing that, she then jumps on Instagram as Bill and goes, "Hey guys, so the more I think about it, the more I think that Trump really should be the president forever. And also, I think the police aren't funded enough. And honestly, the Hitler fella, pretty chill in retrospect, you know." And
she says Hitler. She says Hitler. That's my president.
Right, Hitler. That's my president. If you're black, unfollow me. But this is through you. She's saying that all through you, right? She also discovers your DistroKid and starts taking all the songs down.
Fuck.
But you don't know this yet because you're in your head. You're like, I'll play Damage Control later. So what are you doing?
Yeah. All right. So I've already shit my britches like 3 times now. Okay. Like there's just shit running down my leg. You know.
You got banned on Twitch, but
yeah, but I'm still on Facebook Live because
you're
they're
still on Facebook Live because they don't give a fuck. Yeah.
They don't give a fuck, man. They left that dude's suicide video up for a long time. This is nothing compared to that. Okay.
So now it's like trending #1 on Twitter.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I then
with Cancel Kill Bill the Rapper trending as #2.
Yeah, well, at least I'm #2, you know. So
because you're the shit.
I then like take it upon myself to anywhere I go, I don't ever walk. I do the link forward roll by pressing A and go and like. So I'm still like I still have cameras on me. I have a drone that I've acquired using her money that just like follows me around and streams and makes new accounts constantly when mine get banned. So I'm just fucking I'm covered in shit and baked beans and just all the way down to the store. Okay. To which I find more baked beans and I'm just like ripping them open and just shoving like there's beans everywhere. People are looking at me. The cops are called.
So the cops arrest you now. Yeah, the cops come grab you and they're like, we really hate to do this to you. They're like, we really hate to do this to you, Miss Lauren, and we're really big fans.
Yeah. And then I just hiss at them and then bite one and just take his trachea out.
Okay, cool.
Like just like completely just remove his trachea and like swallow it in front of him.
Yeah. It cuts back to Tommy Lauren in your body. She's just recording more and more videos to put up on Twitter, on YouTube, Facebook, everywhere that you have some sort of social media place for communication with the world. She goes there and she spouts incredibly intolerant ideas and, you know, very racist, very backwards in many ways. So she's doing all of that. All of your friends are at this point, me included, are disavowing you.
Yeah.
Right. I'm immediately, you know, there's like people asking me like, Rav, what do you make all of this? I'm like, you know, in reality, I never really considered him as part of exociety. I barely knew the guy.
Right.
And
right.
I'm glad I never got to know him too well.
I'm glad you ride or die for me, buddy. Well, for when I eventually go on my racist tirade, I know that you're gonna stick up for me, huh?
So it cuts back to you. It's the evening now. You're in a jail cell.
Yeah.
They tased you and dragged you into a cell.
I'm like throwing up beans all over myself because I ate like 18 cans of baked beans, family size.
Yeah, and you're like, but you're thinking to yourself, man, being a girl is real different.
Yeah, it's a real different form of existence
than what I usually do. That's crazy. Girls are wild.
Yeah, real crazy. Just girly thing.
You pass out from like lack of oxygen because there's beans in your nose and mouth.
Yeah,
and you wake up next day in your body. You wake up. You're like, wow, that was fun. You grab your phone, and then you see that you've just you've been completely canceled by half of the world at this point. For everything you said, all those videos you put up and everything, I've disavowed you.
I also have this like really crazy cult following of racist fans.
Yeah, so now all the super mega fans are following you.
Yeah, all of them. Fucking Tom McDonald is my #1 fan. He's just like, you said it.
Okay, so
you said it. We were all thinking it, brother.
So yeah, you've lost pretty much all your friends that you knew at this point and everything.
The only people that like me are people I hate.
Right. The only people that like you are people you hate and would never sort of associate with what do? You thought to yourself the previous day that, hey, I'm gonna, whatever happens, I'll be able to take care of it. So that's why you didn't even check your own social media, because you didn't want to, you could have in the morning immediately gone on your social media and changed your passwords and all of that, and email passwords and everything, but you decided that, like, it's okay, that's for pussies, I can take care of that later. And Tommy Lauren didn't even come up with that because she's just not sharp enough.
Why would I even think about it? I was just like, nah, like, I just assumed she's a nice Republican lady. She wouldn't do something like that.
Yeah, why would she do me so bad? Why would anyone do that? Anyway, I'm gonna go eat beans now and shit myself live.
That's not as bad.
Internet,
that's not as bad. Just eating beans and farting and shitting. Everyone does that. It's not racist.
And killing a cop with your teeth.
I'm not going to say that it goes against my moral code.
Okay, so what do you do? Okay, like you look at it, everyone's just, dude, that you've ever cared for and loved is now canceled you.
My mom cancels me.
Yeah, your mom's just like, he was adopted. Like, we adopted him.
I barely knew him.
we're never close. We were not, your mom doesn't talk like this, but in this world she does now. Yeah. We were never that close, you see. I don't know.
Can't imagine my mom talking like that. My mom just talks like me.
We were never close, you see, so I don't know.
I don't know. Okay.
I don't know what that's all about.
Is there, like, no chance for damage control? Like, there's no chance I can go on there and be like, hey, I got hacked.
You can try. Let's see. Yeah, I got hacked, and they're like, there's videos of you. There's videos of you.
Hacked. That's okay. No. I wouldn't say. I would just be up front. I'd be like, hey, YouTube. Just wanted to say, I was possessed by the spirit of Tommy Lauren.
Yeah.
And just, like, stare at the camera, like, real wild. Like, I didn't do any of that. And, like, yeah, and as you can see, she's in jail. That bitch is crazy. She's doing some kind of crazy voodoo Republican shit on me.
Yeah. Right. And then you die alone many years later.
Man, this was good.
So
dude.
There you go.
Hey, man.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, dude. It's a real happy ending for all. Whatever happened to Tommy Lauren, though?
The president pardoned her.
Oh.
And she actually got a bigger audience than ever because now everyone's like, fuck, I want to see some more of that runny bean diarrhea dookie.
Yeah, she ended up being, like, way more successful, and then, like, also promoted, like, really harmful ideas that she normally wouldn't have, and, like, caused the world to be a worse place.
Yeah, exactly. She would have never, like, said all of those things and everything, and she and because she intentionally sabotaged you, she even she said, what do you think about this gentleman who said you possess his body and said all these horrible things? And she'd be like, well, it's expected of the radical left to project their issues and insecurities onto others. And honestly, I feel disgusted that my name would even come out of his mouth.
Literally, everyone that's watching stands up and applauds her.
Everyone, yeah, applaud. Then she shits herself because that's now her new shtick.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're rotting somewhere in a fucking 4x4 cabin.
Trump wins the next election because of me.
So that you die alone. So that's good. That was an interesting answer that you picked for who you would switch bodies with. That's cool.
Yeah, dude. Who would you switch bodies with? If you could switch with anyone in the world.
Oh, maybe Snoop.
Snoop? What would you do as Snoop?
Yeah.
Like, can you walk me through your day?
Just try to do like what I think he would normally do.
What do you think he does?
But I'd be like, hey guys, I'm a little tired today. I got a bit of a headache. Hit up my I don't know, secretary or manager or agent, to be like, hey, what do I have on the schedule for today? And they'd be like, this stuff and that stuff. I'm like, do I have any free days this week? And they're like, yeah, you have this. I'm like, can we just push everything to that day? I want to take a day off.
Wait. Hold on. If you do any conversations with these people, you have to talk to them as Snoop Dogg via voice in this scenario.
Right, I would.
So could you do your best Snoop Dogg impersonation so we could hear like if you could actually navigate? Let's do a little role playing. Can I be your man?
I'm not good at I'm not good at impersonations, but if I'm in his body, I would have his voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you have to get his cadence and stuff down. You have to do a little trial run for us. You know, it doesn't matter if it sounds the same. It's the way he talks. You know?
Right.
So I'm gonna.
I would pretend to be silly that day. I'm like, good morning, everyone. I'm going to smoke some weed now. You know,
Sounds just
and
like
everybody
him,
would be like, "Oh shit, he's in a silly mood," you know. And I'd be like, you know what? I feel like Snoop the Squire today. I'm going to commit to this now. And everyone would be like, "Okay, cool."
Just do the white face thing that he does.
I think I would just commit to being like, you know, I'm in a silly mood. I'm being silly, and maybe I wouldn't even like move things to another day. I would actually just try to navigate my way through Snoop's day, just see all the things that he does, and get a feel for like, oh wow, like he does a lot of work. He does a lot of this. He spends a lot of time doing this and that, and seeing how people communicate with him, and just kind of also, you know, he's a really, really tall man.
Yeah.
So I get a perspective like, oh, okay, so this is what the world looks like.
He's like 6'6" or something,
from
right?
Up here. Yeah, he's something like that.
I
He's
couldn't
pretty
imagine
tall.
being that tall. That sounds kind of like anything over 6'5" sounds like a scary height to be. Like you'd be afraid to fall. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly how tall he is. I just know he's definitely like tall, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I also admire him as a businessman, as a musician, for many different things. So I'd like to see what is his world like, and I would trust him with my body because he's like cool and smart.
Yeah.
And
he seems like a
you know,
level-headed.
like not someone who's
He would just smoke weed. Like he'd find a way to smoke weed and just smoke his way through it, I think.
right. He might do that, or yeah, exactly. I trust Snoop with my body, which is not a sentence I thought I'd utter ever.
Hey, here's a question though. What if he tries to get with your girl though?
Yeah, but he would do that through my body.
So it wouldn't be weird for you?
It'd be like, I would probably let my girl know in advance and just be like, you good to do whatever, you know?
Yeah, like that'd be like her, like, oh, you could cheat this time. Like that's your what is it, hall pass?
Well, you're assuming I'm in a monogamous relationship.
I mean, I guess.
So there you go. So maybe I'm in an open relationship, and maybe this is all chill.
I mean, I didn't know that. I felt like, you know, I mean, cool. If you're
So maybe
if you do
so
that.
maybe you know, so maybe I'm like, hey, you know, Snoop in my body, and then I would definitely I don't know, I just definitely try to, I think, yeah, I would prefer it to be a day where Snoop's busy and get to see the world from his perspective.
It would be cool.
Like, maybe get some game on some shit.
It would seem, it feels like he would just be like a good guy to like follow around for like a few days just to like see what he does. That would be like a really fun experience, you know?
Oh, and if it was the same day as you would trade bodies, I would also use Snoop's social media to be like, yo, fuck Kill Bill the rapper.
You'd say it. You do like a video.
Yeah.
And talking in silly voice. Fuck Kill Bill the rapper. Like
Kill Bill the rapper. Eating these nuts. And then Snoop would do the same with my phone, you know?
Yeah.
And then I get canceled because people would be like, damn, why is he talking way cooler than he usually does?
he says the N-word, like when he's talking, like he doesn't remember that he's not.
I hope he. That's my only concern. If he did like a live stream or something and said the N-word, then that would be a little bit of a concern for me. Yeah.
My question to you is do you think this is just I'm just gonna ask it. Do you think that Snoop Dogg has or has ever owned a monocle?
Yeah.
You think so?
For sure, because he's been in so many different costumes over the year, you know?
Yeah, I was just like wondering if like just somewhere, a monocle. It seems like a monocle. He seems like a monocle kind of guy.
He's got a monocle somewhere in his wardrobe, I guess. I would assume. I don't know.
Can we talk about monocles for a second?
I mean, I know you always wanted to, so let's do it.
What is do you have to like close one eye to use a monocle correctly? How does that work?
So, I mean, I think it's like you just place it kind of in a position where it's your brow and your cheek would sort of hold it and hold it in place.
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm asking. Like, if you have one monocle in, would you have to close the other eye to be able to see properly? Because
Why? I mean, why does the monocle have to be prescription?
I mean, it doesn't have to, but like originally people used monocles
Right.
prescription wise because they're weird. People are weird. So I'm curious as to like monocle culture.
I wonder. I wonder. Have you ever really
I'm about to
seen?
buy a monocle.
Have you ever really seen anyone in the real world that is not a character in a show or a movie wear a monocle? Like, not ironically either. You know what I mean? Like for its utility. Have you ever seen?
I have.
Besides your dad.
Planner's peanut.
Who? Yeah. Okay, that's dumb. Fuck you.
Oh, sorry. I said besides my dad, so I guess I can't say the Planner's peanut.
Yeah, that's what I just said. No, besides your dad. Yeah. So I don't know if that's something that maybe was like a very temporary fad in high society, and then it immediately stopped being a thing, maybe because it wasn't practical at all, but the stereotype held on. We've all held on to that stereotype because it looks so dumb, memorable, and different. Or I don't know, like I'm genuinely curious about the history of the monocle and what the fuck were we thinking.
Okay, I'm looking at monocles on Wikipedia really quick. We're gonna talk about this for a second.
That just seems like, you know what the funny thing about monocle, I imagine like once you remove it at the end of the day, it probably leaves a bit of a mark, you know? And
yeah,
you look kind of dumb. I mean, you already look dumb if you're wearing...
Yeah, you look kind of dumb. It's an interesting fashion choice. Let's see here. A monocle is a type of corrective lens used to correct or enhance the visual perception in only one eye. It consists of a circular lens, generally with a wire ring around the circumference. Okay, we got all that. It was introduced by the Dandy's quizzing glass of the 1790s as an article of high fashion. Okay, so like, let's see here. I see styles, wearers, but why would you only want, maybe like if it's like one of your eyes is fucked up.
I just think it's mostly purely a fashion thing. I think the utility is an excuse to justify how wild it is, how weird it is, but in reality, it was just a
like a fashion
thing, which is fine, which is cool, but it's just, not all of those things work out. And that was an example of something that I think, I'm not someone who's a utility driven person, but here I feel like it would be so counterproductive that it's hard to justify unless it does not have a corrective lens and it's instead like, I don't know, just a normal see-through lens or a blue light lens, in which case also, why would you do that? No, it'd have to be a see-through lens to be justifiable.
Okay, so apparently the real world use of a monocle isn't necessarily you don't wear it all the time. Apparently you don't just walk around with the fucking monocle in. What everybody, like it says right here, it says on this article on monoclemadness.co.uk.
My favorite site.
Yeah, it says they're handy and are popular among chefs who need help seeing recipes, as they can be easily clipped onto aprons. So it's basically like fucking reading glasses that you clip onto your shit and you don't have to keep up with them as much. And you just kind of hold it in front of your eye.
You could just move your glasses up into your hair, or you could have one of those like collapsible glasses, or like the oh my god, bro, I'm so mad. Like Ray J's glasses.
Also, it says they're also used by people with a drooping eyelid, a condition known as ptosis, to keep their eye open. Although, put quite simply, some people just don't want to use glasses when they have only a problem with one eye. So it's probably cheaper to get a monocle. That's a lie. Monocles have to be more expensive.
It has to be more expensive because you have fewer options otherwise, because not as many people are designing monocles. Like, yes, if you have a problem with one eye, you still get glasses. It's just one of the lenses is not going to be a corrective one and the other one will be. to me, this is just a preference, a stylistic preference. And hey, if you're listening to this and you wear a monocle, which I assume more than half of our listeners do, do you, baby? That's
dude. I'm reading this article. I'm reading this article further, and it's like very monocle biased,
right? Because you are reading it off of monoclemadness.co.uk.
Yeah, but it's just like it says, with the inevitable onset of poor eyesight and the need for reading glasses, one can become annoyed by having to remember not only his mobile phone, wallet, and car keys, but there is now another addition to the daily essentials list. And with pockets already full, the frustration of where to keep your spectacles will leave you in a fucking dilemma. Should you struggle to take them with you each time just for the use of the odd text message or reading a menu rather than leave them at home and struggle? You have tried a vast array of glasses, found them slow to use, fiddly, and easily breakable. The perfect solution became evident after finally getting hold of an eye monocle. With the correct lens power, it immediately solved the problem. Both eyes can be kept open, allowing you to see close up and distance at the same time. The brain is clever, Some lightweight and durable, it can be worn around the neck unnoticeable until it's intended for use. The simplest solution
around the neck
is often the best, and it lies within.
What if you run into something and it breaks, right? Because it's on you, on top of you, or if it's around your neck and it chokes you to death. Like, what's wrong with just wearing glasses on your face, or having contact lenses, or having collapsible glasses like what Ray J has that you can fold away and put in your chest pocket if you're really worried about that. It's not like the monocle wouldn't go into a pocket of some sort. It's not just going to hang around, and if it does, chances are it'll get stuck somewhere, or you'll break it, or you'll lose it, or you'll fiddle with it even more. Oh, it's around my neck, I have to untie it, I have to go here, now I gotta put it in my head, and then you have to lock it into your fucking face. It's not just and there it is. You have to.
You don't have to. You don't. No. You don't have to.
You just hold it. You just hold it, and you're like,
oh, the whole idea is you just grab it and hold it up, and then put it back down.
That sounds to me like just as dumb as justifying a pocket watch over just a watch on a wristwatch, right? Again.
Wait. What's wrong with the pocket watch?
Hey, no. I love pocket watches, and throughout a lot of time in my life, I've actually used pocket watches. They look cool, but falsely justifying them as they take less space, or they're just more convenient, that is ridiculous to me. If you want to have them because it looks cool, that's fine.
Are you trying to tell me that taking it out of your pocket and flipping it open and kind of looking at it, that's so hard to do, man? Listen, I have weak little arms, okay? I can't twist my wrists,
but they're
around.
Strong enough to take out
some kind of fucking contortionist?
Right.
I can't.
But you're flexible enough to thrust your hand into the pocket of your jeans, pull out this mechanism, untangle it around your phone, flip it open, look at it instead of your phone, by the way, for the time.
Yeah, we could just use the phone. Oh, how about this? Let's compromise. Take a pocket watch and just tie string around it, around your wrist. So that way you get the aesthetic.
No, around your neck. Around your neck, like with a monocle. Yeah. You have the monocle around your neck.
Like a monocle.
Yeah, you have the monocle around your neck. You have the pocket watch around your neck. You just look like at any moment you could accidentally kill yourself, right?
Wait. Hold on. Fuck all this, dude. This is what we need, okay? We needed a smart monocle, okay? Hear me out on this, right? It hangs on your neck. It's clipped to but also clipped to your wrist, just in case you want to look at it like a watch. It's a little complicated, but and if you hold it up to your eye, it tells you the time and also helps you see slightly. What do you think?
Yeah, dude. I think that's the way to go. But whoever I wrote, monoclemadness.co.uk, I didn't expect them to be impartial on this matter.
They are a legitimate news source, okay?
Okay, tell me, when was their latest article posted? relative to today.
I'll tell you right now.
Today's
Give me a
9/11,
moment
by the
here.
way, in case it wasn't abundantly clear at the start of the episode. This is when we're recording
Okay,
it.
so as I started off, I see reading and custom monocle shop now. Okay, which is good because they have a solution. They have a monocle madness promo video on YouTube. It looks like it was shot on a toaster. Man, is there a blog? There is a blog. Let's see here. Hold on. Let's just not worry about it, dude. Let's not worry about it.
Yeah, I'm just.
How to wear a monocle.
I mean, they they
latest
sell
one.
monocles, right? That's their kind of their
Yeah.
thing. Really cheap ones
Yeah.
too. I'm looking at it right now. Very affordable.
Dude, are you gonna cop?
Absolutely. They also have you could switch region to USA. Let's click on that. Oh, Monocle Madness shop.com. That's what it becomes.
Man, I was gonna say, wow, these are pretty cheap, but really they're not because you could get reading glasses for like $20.
That's true.
And this one they only go to like +3, which
And I'm looking at the picture of the hipster with the bow tie on the front of their website, right? With a monocle. And nothing about it to me screams attractive at all. In any sense. Again, I'm not kink shaming any of our audiences, but to me personally, and again, like, who am I, right? I'm just a fucking rapper, but to me, this looks fucking moronic. This looks
What do
so
you mean, dude?
stupid.
it's so cool, bro. It's just like you're hip, you're drinking your tea, you smell like mint.
No one in high society wears monocles. No one who's rich
How do
wears
you
a
know, dude? How do you know? You're sober right now. How would you know anything about high society?
Fair, but I have smoked a lot of weed in my days, and I've never wore a monocle in those moments, although I did consider it. No, but okay, to me personally, it looks dumb as fuck.
If I was high as shit and someone handed me a monocle, I would wear the shit out
Oh
of that
yeah,
monocle.
for the joke, right? Oh, but I'm looking at these
Yeah, for the
pictures.
joke. Huh.
Anyway, dude, pocket watch. You got one?
I do. My grandpa gave me a one. It's golden, not gold, but golden. How do you got one?
That sounded so funny and like deflective and fast, like, you know, like a golden one, not a gold one. You got one? No, I don't. I've had a few though.
Wow, pussy.
I've had a few. I had one that was like a nerd one, a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood one, where it was the State Alchemist pocket watch, which is also kind of like a form of ID. So
That's like Naruto, right?
yeah, this is the same thing. And I had
Okay.
a couple other ones that were just normal ones that kind of looked pretty. And I just thought they looked neat, but I could never really justify having them personally. I whenever I try to use them, I open up, I feel like such a jackass. Where I'm like, well, in this day and age, it's hard not to feel like a jackass. And I'm not like some sort of steampunk is life, you know. So if I was that, then maybe I'd see some sort of like aesthetic value in it. But for me, there is none there, and it's kind of tacky. I see it as tacky if I sort of wear it on me or carry it around on me.
Man, I might just be weird, but I like hate steampunk. Am I crazy?
I don't think you're crazy. I don't hate it because, I mean, like, I feel like everybody's got their own bag. And, like, even when I played, you know, Bioshock, there were certain things where I was like, oh, there's a lot of appealing things about certain aesthetics that they explore here. And, sure, you know, and I think even there's elements of steampunk maybe even Fallout and other great media that I've enjoyed for sure. It just doesn't appeal to me at all.
I think what it was is like it's in my brain forever now to hate steampunk because I was active on Tumblr around the time when steampunk Tumblr was like a big thing. And I think that you had like your steampunk people and you had like your cyberpunk people, and I was like a cyberpunk guy. Like I still any kind of 80s cyberpunk sci-fi stuff, I just get dope. Like super I get a super big feeling in my tummy that I like.
I think there's different reasons why people like and dislike things. So for me, I like cyberpunk because to me, even though I was born in the 90s, there's elements of cyberpunk that I see that I almost look at as nostalgic to me, right? But also it's interpreted in a way that matches modern day. And then for you, I think steampunk is nostalgic for you because of your age, but you're not holding on to that nostalgia in the same way that I'm holding on to cyberpunk. You know what I mean?
Dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
Anyway,
yeah, that was good, man. That was fucking good.
I gotta go.
Listen, I gotta get going.
I gotta get that.
Like, I fucking. Oh, is that a phone call that I've got? Hello.
Oh, not my mother.
My other mom just passed away. I'm sorry to inform you. I gotta get going, dude.
Yeah, no, I understand. I totally get it. I'm
glad you get me as a man.
Yeah, is there? Have you seen? Well, I mean, you must have noticed a shift in what you like, right? Is there an aesthetic that you're attracted to currently, or a mood or a vibe? Because I know that during the Tumblr days, you were into like, that cyberpunk, vaporwave, future funk, like there's a lot of musical elements, a lot of visual elements, a lot of that stuff that in nostalgia, core, or whatever you want to call it. A lot of that was kind of your jam back then. What's your jam these days, if there is one?
I mean, honestly, I feel like I always come back to that era, and that, like, not just aesthetically, but like I feel like I look back on those days very, very fondly, and I always live in a state of constant nostalgia. Like, that's how I never feel like I really enjoy the moment until after it's done. And so right now, I've been digging back into, I mean, we watched Aliens the other day, and then we watched like Starship Troopers and a bunch of other stuff. And I was like, wow, like early 90s. I know Starship Troopers kind of like late 90s, but like early 90s or late 80s or to even like mid 80s sci-fi stuff is like so cool. And it has like this, it invokes a certain feeling that I can't get from anything else. And so I've been kind of like digging into that a lot lately, which is kind of the same as before. I don't know. I just feel like that aesthetic is so broad that it's kind of like you can kind of live within it and just really just be happy, if that makes any sense.
Ultimately, you're connecting with something that like you thought was super cool as a kid, and you still do now. That's all it is, right? It's like you're still in touch with that maybe younger self.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And it's like a lot of that stuff like I hadn't seen in a long time. Like Starship Troopers I hadn't seen in like 6 or 7 years. And
right.
I love that fucking movie. It was great. It was great to watch. And I just been in this like kick of like wanting to like do that, like watch. I mean, we talked about this before, but like I've been like sample digging a lot, and I've been finding stuff that would have scared me as a kid. Like I don't know if you ever seen like any of the like Faces of Death or anything like that, or any of those like Mondo documentaries.
Don't think I have, no.
I mean, okay, Faces of Death is like they call them Mondo documentaries because it's based off of, or this whole like little genre was made by this Italian movie called Mondo Cane, and it's like shock, like exploitation type movies. But most of them were fake. Like like Faces of Death is supposed to be like, is marketed as real death scenes, like scenes of people actually dying, but like it's like 90% of it is fake and like 10% of it is just like stuff you could like see on a Google search, you know, and like the aesthetic of it, it was like made in the like early 80s, and so the music is like really, really like kind of like almost like the John Carpenter-esque type music, and it's just really corny and campy, but it's aimed at like like a very adult audience.
Okay.
And so I've been like that, and it's like the same feeling as like really gory 80s anime and like horror movies and like that type of stuff. Like it's all that same kind of bag. And so I've been like, since I've been like sample hunting for like weirder shit lately, Faces of Death is like always one I come back to, and I never actually make a beat out of it. Like I always download a bunch of songs from that OST and then never actually flip them. So I need to do it this time. But yeah. What about you, man? What's been your jam lately? What's been your jam and toast?
I think my jam has been sort of consistent for many years. I mean, it's a lot of also, you know, nostalgic stuff from the 90s and just stuff I grew up with, whether it's Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, and, you know, but also a lot of stuff that's, you know, 2000s and 2010s is now becoming nostalgic to me too, you know? So there's things that I hold on to from those eras. Ghibli or Ghibli, I prefer saying Ghibli. I know it's Ghibli is the correct way, but that's always been a very present influence for me. Something that I don't think that'll ever change ever since 2001 till now. That's just
right.
Like it's been like, wow, this is the pinnacle of like a specific feeling that is hard to decipher, like a childhood aesthetic. I don't know if that even makes sense, but like innocence.
Yes.
So I like that. I really like to hold on to that. I've also been having
it's like the exact opposite of me.
Yeah. And I've been having sort of there's certain things that are now re-emerging in my life in terms of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and some of the earlier like 90s and late 80s stuff that was present in my childhood, and the X-Men cartoon and Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s and all that. These things are now kind of resurfacing in my mind. And there's certain aesthetic that came with how I felt back then that I'm interested to channel. So there is that, and there is a lot of there's also, I don't know, man, I'm kind of all over the place, to be completely honest.
I mean, I am too. Let me talk to you about something real quick. I know that we're probably running close to time now, but like fucking like one of the things that I've really been digging lately is finding obscure things that I saw when I was a kid that are like cusps of memories. Like it's almost a memory, but I don't remember what it is. Like series or toys or something like that. And then like Googling around and finding those things and what they were and watching like the intros to them or like commercials or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like a good example, like I have two good examples, and I feel like, okay, there is this one thing that I didn't know what it was called for a long time that I loved when I was a kid. And it's based on this toy that was like marketed towards girls. They did like a boys version of it, but it was like these dudes look like kind of normal action figure size, and they're on like a launcher, and they have wings, and they would like spin really, really fast, and then like go up in the air, and they would come down kind of like Mario does when he does his little spin when he in Mario 64, like when he like jumps on the thing in the ice level. I don't know what you call it, but they basically spin really fast and then float down, right? And they're originally were made like for girls, and I don't know what those were called, but the dudes ones was called Dragonflies, right? And there was like a whole cartoon and everything. And I remember having one of those things and loving it, but I was like 3, so I didn't remember what it was called. There's another one too that I can't remember what it's called. I'm still looking for it, where it's like they were like guys with like gems in their chest, like each one had like an emerald or a sapphire or something like in his chest. And the action figure, you would like move the arm, and if you twisted the arm, it would make the gem spark up. Like a little, it looked like a lighter or something. You could hear and that was like a whole series of things too. And I mean, they did that with so many toys in the 90s. Like they would make toys and then make a cartoon to promote the toy. Yeah. And yeah, like that was like that's like my jam right now. It's just like going back and like finding all these like weird, obscure.
Oh, that's cool.
Things.
That's really cool. I've kind of had that with like, I've been really interested in tech decks again and skateboarding, like specifically like the old Tony Hawk games. And it's funny, I really got into it.
Did you see they dropped a new one?
Yeah, I know, right? The timing is perfect. I got into it and then a couple months later they just dropped the new ones. And if it does well, they'll do a remaster of 3 and 4. And like 2 and 4 were my favorites other than Underground 2 and 1. And then hopefully they'll do remakes of those, and that's amazing. And they've managed to keep some of the older music and add some new music and all that, and so that's really exciting. There's something about that time, like going back to that time, and revisiting Halo 3 gives me a similar feeling of like revisiting a time when things were like when my priorities were different.
I had Thug 2. I had Thug 2 on the Xbox, and I remember my grandma, it was like the day that my grandma had a stroke. The day after, I stayed at my other grandma's house like while she was in the hospital. And I remember being like super traumatized, like from seeing it happen, like seeing my grandma have a stroke. I was in the room and I just dug so hard into Thug 2. Like I played Tony Hawk's Underground 2. I remember setting it up over at my grandma's house, and like normally it was weird because I never brought video games over there, but my mom was like, he needs something to do. He's just like over there and just like replaying this event over and over in his head. Like she could tell like what fucked with me, Right.
You needed to snap out of it and keep yourself busy with something else.
Yeah. And I believe, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Ring of Fire is on that. It might be on a different Tony Hawk game.
It is. No, it's on Thug 2? I'm pretty sure it is. Yes.
Okay. Cause I remember now. I can't hear that song without thinking about that.
Yep.
About
same was with the Doors that break on through to the other side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
They had such good music on there, man.
They had such great music or ideas. You think you're a big shot, and they had what Aesop song did they have? I remember Atmosphere. You gotta find the balance. You gotta find the balance, or whatever. That shit was.
Hell yeah, dude.
Man, all those soundtracks were so fucking dope. There wasn't like a single skippable song for me back then. And it introduced me to non-hip hop music. That was my introduction to it, because I know you were already sort of hip to other music prior to hip hop. For me, hip hop was kind of like, other than Michael Jackson, that was my only understanding of the world for a hot minute. And then it introduced me to a bunch of music where I was like, oh, all of this shit sounds dope and it works. And man, fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Love that game. One of the best games of all time.
Fucking there was another band that was on there, or not band, but Handsome Boy Modeling School, I'm pretty sure was on that soundtrack too, and I love that whole album.
And all the levels were so crazy, and Underground 2 was like the most wackiest of all those games, and it was like perfect. It really felt like a Jackass Tony Hawk game, but like a healthy fusion.
All the characters too.
Yeah, of course. They had Steve-O, Bam, and like Bam was like on the cover, right? It was Bam and Tony Hawk. And it was just
I was so into Jackass.
I was so into Jackass. I was so into Bam's show as well. I think he might have had multiple. I was into all of them. I was obviously a Tony Hawk fan. I was a fan of a lot of other skaters like Bob Burnquist. And just that game is just like, man, it really absorbed me fully. I was into this world, and it was so perfect. And every time I got a new level, I opened up a new level, it felt like a whole new world opened up before me. It was just so exciting. And those games always had like pre-meme Easter bugs. Remember, like in Tony Hawk 4, there's if you fly through a window in one of the levels, you get to see the Star Wars kid and shit like that.
Oh yeah, dude, that's so crazy.
They did
That's real crazy to think about.
Yeah, they did shit like that. It was like pre-meme internet memes.
Man, imagine being the Star Wars kid and then seeing like playing Tony Hawk and then just finding that.
Yeah, that
like,
was so
that'd
cool.
be so crazy.
So to me, that was just like and then like all this was the time when all the cheat codes were also the best ones. Like I just made everybody's heads massive. I loved doing that. That was funny to me.
Everyone loves the head cheat for some reason. Just it's like it's a good one
because it just works and it doesn't really get in the way of the game. It just looks dumb, and I always like the visual stuff. And I think Spider-Man's been an unlockable character in a bunch of the games, or maybe that was just Tony Hawk 2. But Tony Hawk 2, 4, and Underground 2 were my favorites. And yeah, so I've been kind of in that mode. But Bill. Where our producers are signaling that we're almost out of time and they want you to wrap it up, but they want you to do it on a very sentimental note this time for a change.
A sentimental note? Okay. I made my best friend in the world when I went to the Congo searching for the purest breast milk available. I haven't seen you since then, Trevor. But just know if you're listening right now, you owe me $13 American.